M. Night Shyamalan is an interesting filmmaker. I hate the word interesting. It means everything and nothing at the same time.
Look at this lamp. Isn't it interesting? You know, if you think about it.
I mean, first the guy makes one of the most popular horror movies of all time, which I just think is okay. I mean, it's, once you get past the twist, it's just kind of, unpopular opinion. Then he makes a super awesome movie that hardly anyone sees. Then he makes a movie about aliens whose only weakness is water, that go to a planet that's mostly water. There are people who like this movie. Then he makes flop after flop after flop. I actually did kind of like The Village. It's kind of an interesting movie that has an unnecessary twist in it. But you take out the twist and it's not that bad of a movie. Of course, I haven't seen it since it came out. It could be awful. And then the second best thing that could have happened to him happens. The first best thing being that he makes really great movies that people like and want to rewatch. The worst thing is that he makes unmemorable movies that nobody cares about or go sees. The second best thing that happens to him is he makes movies so awful that people actually rewatch them because of how awful they are. People make viral videos about how awful they are. By golly, if M. Night can't make great movies, he's gonna at least make you remember them for how terrible they are. So Split is a movie about James McAvoy who has split personality disorder. There is another technical word for it, but the movie's called Split, so I feel perfectly justified in calling it split personality disorder. He has like 23 different personalities inside him. Unfortunately, we only see like 4. Which is really sad because the most interesting parts of this movie are whenever James McAvoy is on screen and he is just chewing all of the scenery, like, ooh, there's some scenery. He's got this OCD macho dude who has to button his shirt up to here. He's like an older woman at times. He's a 9-year-old child who acts more like a 5-year-old.
My name's Hedwig. I have red socks.
But some elements of his personality are very bad people, and they have kidnapped 3 young ladies. One played by Anya Taylor-Joy, who was in The Witch earlier this year, and the other 2 are played by Victim 1 and Victim 2. If it isn't very evident that these characters are going to die at the beginning of this film, then you have not seen many movies. And that's one thing that really frustrated me through most of this movie, was just how ineffectual 2 of these characters are, and how intelligent and interesting one is, but still rather ineffectual. Like at first the other 2 girls are like, we just attack him, we gotta get out of here right now. And the other one's like, no, be cool. We're also getting exposition from scenes where one of his personalities is going to see a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist is trying to get to the bottom of the mystery of what's going on inside of him. Those scenes are actually pretty interesting, but they also like I can smell M. Night's writing on this. M. Night Shyamalan loves to film people giving very long explanations about theories. And as kind of interesting as his ideas are, those scenes just go on and on.
The human brain is the most complex object in the universe.
An individual with multiple personalities can change their body chemistry with their thoughts.
And the movie is pretty straightforward. I mean, it's mostly just these girls sort of trying to escape. So except for some scenes where there's some really entertaining acting by James McAvoy, it mostly feels like a kind of bland, middle-of-the-road version of 10 Cloverfield Lane. We also get flashbacks of Anya Taylor-Joy's childhood, where it shows that she was, abused and went through a traumatic experience, but it kind of doesn't really resolve in any way or become that relevant. I mean, there's sort of a reveal at the end, but the reveal is kind of like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. But what everybody on the internet is going to be talking about after seeing this movie is the very end of the movie. The last 1 minute of the movie, which feels like a completely different movie. And the whole movie was sort of dropping hints that, oh, what is inside of him has the ability to change his body chemistry and make him almost superhuman. And the whole movie I'm thinking, oh, this kind of feels a little similar to Unbreakable. And then you realize at the end, because Bruce Willis just shows up at a diner and he's like, I'm my character from Unbreakable, that this whole movie, we just been watching a supervillain origin story. And it's at this point that I am just picturing M. Night Shyamalan from a year or so ago going, I don't get it. Why am I not popular anymore? I've given the people everything. I praise myself and then I poop on their childhood and they still don't adore me. How do I get back in the game? Now, I'm not saying that M. Night Shyamalan is forcing the idea of a superhero movie franchise in order to stay relevant as a filmmaker, but boy, it feels like it. It just sounds like he had an idea for a creepy premise for a movie and then just kind of awkwardly made it fit into this other sort of genre that does not go there. So he could then just sell it as a future franchise. Now, honestly, a lot of this is coming from a place where I am just personally so tired of everything being turned into a franchise.
Franchise the damn thing. Franchise, franchise, franchise.
I mean, I get it. It makes sense from a business standpoint, but for crimini's sake, the reason I liked Unbreakable so much in the first place is because you didn't really know where it was going and it didn't fit into this mold of superhero movies that we have today. I mean, obviously it came out before the whole superhero movie explosion. And this ending just feels so tonally out of place and I couldn't believe it. I was laughing in the theater and then everyone else around me was like, what? Yeah, see kids, when you were 2 years old, this movie called Unbreakable came out, and now M. Night Shyamalan is really trying to make that into a meal ticket. It just felt so sad to me. But not as sad as I feel when I look back on the publicity that M. Night was getting after Signs came out. Huh. This movie was obviously not for me, but if you're an M. Night Shyamalan fan and you just gotta know, how this one turns out. Apparently this is his best reviewed film in a while, so people are seeing stuff I'm not seeing.
Mm-mm.